couple things that jumped out at me: the decrease in walk rate and the increase in strikeout rate. That's about as good as you could ask for, right? So career with Pittsburgh, a 15% walk rate down to just 4% with the Yankees, and the average is around 8. So only 4 walks out of 103 batters faced with the Yankees, and the strikeout rate jumping from around league average at 22% up to 33. And so looking a little deeper, seeing the amount of pitches in the zone. First 3 seasons with Pittsburgh, 45%. Then last year, still with Pittsburgh before the trade, up to 50%. And then with the Yankees, 55. Was that something, is that something that, did you feel that you were gaining more control, or was it more of an attack the zone type of philosophy? What happened there?
Yeah, so I think we got traded over. They said, obviously, your sinker is really good, which, they kind of showed me some things that, I've had some people in the past tell me that, but it's like, just they showed me some things that reinforce that and how good I've been against righties. And basically that, I can throw my sinker and I'll be okay. Britton kind of talked about this too, and it's kind of got me in trouble in the past is sometimes I'll feel like I have like 3 different sinkers, like one that'll go like lateral, one that goes maybe straight down, and then the combination of both where you kind of have the sink and the run. And sometimes I'll get caught like trying to make an adjustment from pitch to pitch. So like, trying to make an adjustment off this pitch. And then you kind of lead, down a road where, you end up making too many adjustments where you end up somewhere you don't want to be. For me, it was like, I'm going to try to throw the same pitch, no matter what happened the pitch before, in the same spot. And if it goes where I, want it, then good. If not, then I'm going to try to do the same thing. And instead of trying to adjust from pitch to pitch, I just went to saying, I'm going to try to throw this pitch in the same spot, start in the same spot. If it doesn't do what I want to do, that's fine. I'm just going to try to do it again. And instead of kind of adjusting off of the pitch before. And I think that's something that really kind of started to lock that sinker in. And then I started throwing it more, which you think you can say that probably helped just reaffirm the release point. Didn't throw my curveball as much. So there's some things that kind of just started building off that. And some was intentional, some maybe not so intentional, but that's kind of things how it started to snowball. And the next thing I know, the sinker was the most consistent it's ever been. And I was throwing it, more than I ever have. So I knew they were going to not necessarily protect me, but they were going to put me in the best situation possible to face as many righties as possible. And if I throw my sinker in the zone, then I'll probably have success.
I love that simplistic explanation there, in an age where we have all this data, all these toys to play with and analytics, that you had the catcher set up in one spot and you just pounded that sinker and gained confidence as you went along. And you're right. Just keep trying to do the simplified thing over and over again. And you just own the strike zone, and not only own the strike zone, your velocity ticked up as well. Is there something on the training side that you did that allowed you to go a couple ticks up in your velocity? Previously, a couple of years ago, you were around 94 miles an hour. Last year, 96 with a sinker, with a demon sinker that dropped off the table at times. So, what in your training that helped you increase your velocity as well?
Yeah. I think just throwing it over and over and finding that consistent release, there started to become a little bit more freedom, kind of within the delivery. And I think that just naturally, I started to see more of the top end velocity. I've always, back to 2017 and 18, I would get up to 99, then, but there was just a bigger range. And I think that range has started to really narrow, where I was just sitting at that top end versus, having, 92, 93, and then being able to, throw a 97, 98. The more my body just got comfortable doing the same thing over and over, that freedom within the delivery, started to come, and I think the top end velocity become a little bit more natural, and it came a little easier versus, trying to get to it.
Well, that's a great lesson for young pitchers right there. The simplified approach frees up your delivery, and good things happen, including velocity, movement, and control. I love all those things. That's a good lesson for young pitchers right there who listen to this podcast.
So I think the Yankees easily identified the fact that you do really well against righties. You proved it too within your performances over the last 2+ months of the season. But I did read in a recent article, I believe it was Brendan Cuddy, who's a great Yankees beat writer, that one of your goals, I guess, is to get better against lefty hitters in 2022. So what are the first steps toward getting better against a left-hander for you?
Yeah, I can talk you through my thought process a little bit. So obviously, like we know, like my sinker usage went way up. Stopped throwing my curveball really totally and started using the slider. We can argue it's like, and it had really good success. It's like, well, why do anything different? That worked. Why change? And there could be truth to that, And so it's like there is some risk of trying to maybe add a pitch. Is the risk worth the reward? So that's kind of what I've been trying to walk through is was just the simplicity of one, my pitch arsenal. Was that a reason for my success? Would it be risky to add another pitch? Anyways, I think that there'd be value of basically having maybe something else I can show left-handed batter when needed. It probably wouldn't affect my total arsenal, but like I've been kind of messing around with either a changeup or obviously it's kind of getting popular now is just kind of the sweeper slider, the seam shift wake slider. Trying and throws it. So I've been messing around with that. Obviously his slider, I mean, there's a lot of people that throw it now, but obviously his was really good this year, and he just added it. So I think that's kind of a model would be like, is that something I want to go after? So I've been kind of messing around with that a little bit, and it's been pretty good so far on the TrackMan, and it's been really good to high school hitters, but looking forward to some new hitters to kind of just see how it plays. I think as long as the consistency plays, as far as, with my sinker and doesn't mess with that, it's something that one of those two pitches I'll probably try to add just for a different look, for either timing or just create more of a horizontal split for lefties.